It's the beginning of the month, which means wrap-up time. Today I'm here to share with you guys all the books that I read in January, along with a few statistics. Hello everyone, it is Samantha. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day so far. As you guys may know, it is the beginning of a new month, so I am sure that all of your subscription feeds have been inundated with January wrap-ups, and here I am adding another one to that list, but hopefully you guys will still find it as entertaining as the others. Because I have statistics, guys, and who doesn't love some statistics? I know I do because I'm an accountant and that's how I roll. So in the month of January, I ended up only reading 3 books, which I'm okay with because I set my 2017 reading goal to 1 book, which is not only completely attainable, I've already surpassed it. So yay me, I'm winning. All 3 of the books that I read were fantasy for a total of 1,418 pages. The type of books that I read, 2 of them were hardback and 1 was a flexi-bound. 2 of the books were YA and 1 of them was a adult fantasy. In terms of years published, 1 was published in the 50s, 1 in 2016, and 1 in 2017. In terms of star ratings, 2 of them were 4 stars and 1 of them was 5 stars. So that kind of wraps up my statistics, so now we're going to move on to what the books themselves were, as well as my thoughts on them. The first book that I finished in January was a reread, and that was To the Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is a continuation of my reread of the Lord of the Rings series. I love this trilogy. As many of you guys know, I'm beating a dead horse because I've mentioned this many times on my channel. But suffice it to say, I've read this many times and it never gets old. The Two Towers is one of my favorites in the trilogy. I love so many of the different scenes in this particular book, and so it was great being back with them in the Ents and the Riders of Rohan, and so many epic moments happen in this book. So it was great being back and experiencing them all again because it's been several years since I have reread the trilogy. So suffice it to say, I kept this book at my 5-star rating because it is one of my favorite books by Tolkien and I love it to bits. But if you guys would like a further breakdown, I give the overall story of this particular volume 5 stars. I give the writing 4 stars. I give the characters 4.5 stars. I give the world building 5 stars for an overall rating of 5 stars. The next book that I picked up in January was Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. This book series follows Etta, who is a violin prodigy. She is about ready to make her big debut, but before that can happen, she gets sucked into the world of time travel. She soon discovers that she herself is what is called a traveler, and it gives her the ability to travel through time. She needs to use this ability to rescue her mother, who has been taken by the head of one of the opposing traveler families, and find an astrolabe that everybody is trying to find. She needs to find it in order to destroy it. So this story kind of launches Etta from 2016 into the past upon her epic adventure, full of a little bit of romance and definitely a lot of twists and turns and battles and hijinks and what have you ensue. Overall, I really enjoyed this book and its companion Wayfarer. I actually have a full review, so I'll link that somewhere below if you guys would like to check it out. But suffice it to say, I really enjoyed them. I found the diversity in these books to be fantastic. This book has some wonderful diversity. There's LGBTQ characters such as Sophia. There's an African American character, Nicholas, who is one of the main characters, as well as a bunch of other topics are discussed in this book. Etta struggles with her own privilege as a young white female and how she hasn't had to struggle with how to deal with a lot of the same struggles that Nicholas has had to as a young African American male. So it deals with a lot of different topics, which I really enjoyed, and the plot itself was fantastic. So overall, I rated this book 4 stars. I gave the characters 4 stars. I gave the plot 4.5 stars. I gave the writing 4 stars. I gave the world and the setting in which this took place in 4.5 out of 5 stars for an overall rating of 4 stars. It's a really enjoyable read and one that I recommend to anybody looking for a fun, quick, pretty fantastic read. The third book that I read in January was the sequel to Passenger, which is Wayfarer by Alexandra Bracken. I was sent this one by the publisher in exchange for a free and honest review, which I have given and I will give again, but suffice it to say, this continues on with the story and the adventures of Etta and Nicholas. It picks up immediately where Passenger left off, and it was just a really fantastic read. It really tied up the whole story very well, and I enjoyed it just as much, if not a little bit more than Passenger, so I really liked where the story took off in this book, and it was just a lot of fun. So I gave it the same rating as Passenger, 4 stars, all of the same rating breakdown. This is a really fun duology that I recommend to anybody. It has a lot of really great characters. It has a lot of diversity. It's just a lot of fun and one that I really enjoyed a lot more than I thought I was going to. Alright guys, those are all of the books that I read in January, as well as a few little statistics for you guys. You'll have to let me know if you read any of these and what your thoughts are, or just anything else written down in the comments. Feel free to do so. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely day. Until next time, happy reading. Bye!